Hey everyone, it is Jamie Joe right here at Madlet Musings, and today I have with me Connilyn Cossette. Hello.
Hello, it's so good to see you.
It's always fun to have you on, and we've had you on for book one and book two, and now we get you on for book three, which is
Yes.
super cool. I'm excited to
Yes,
talk
I
about it.
got my books the other day. They're so beautiful. Look at
They
that
are
cover.
gorgeous.
So pretty.
They
I
are.
love
Oh,
it.
each cover for this series, because this is the Kingsmen series, right? Do I have that time?
Yes, it's
Okay.
the third out of four in the Kingsman series.
Right. And each cover has had like beautiful skies.
Yes. The first one that they sent me, Voice of the Ancient, had this gorgeous sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
And so then the next one I said, let's do the sun a little bit higher in the sky. So like midday at
Yep.
that one. And then this one has got the sunset.
Oh, and so
So
let me
you
get, is
can
book four
guess.
going to be nighttime sky?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I
I
haven't
love
seen
it.
it yet. I'm dying. It's like any minute they're gonna
Yeah.
send me a cover, so
Yep.
I can't wait.
Yep. They do that. I was in a conference in May. I think it was May. And I'm seriously talking to readers and my phone ping and I look down. I'm like, it's my new cover.
I love it.
Everybody stop talking right now. This moment is sacred.
Right, right. I know it's always like a little nerve-wracking to push,
Mm-hmm.
like to open that,
Mm-hmm.
and to see what it's gonna be. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it should come any day. I hope. I hope.
Oh, I'm anxious to see that one because I love night skies.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love night skies. So we actually just got a telescope so that we
Ooh,
can
fun.
go out at night and start picking out
Yes.
different stars, planets, the
Oh,
moon.
fun. I need to get one of those.
It's really fascinating. There was one that we looked at the other night and I'm like, the Death Star does exist. Because it was like this globe, and then it had this hollow, and then
Oh,
these crisscross lines through it. It looked like
oh,
somebody had just
wild.
drawn it, and I'm like, "What?
That
What
is
we?
so
It
cool.
is. It
Maybe you
is really cool."
discovered a new planet.
And we didn't because my son told me, "Oh, that's this star," and yada yada. He's totally into astronomy right now.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah, I
That's
have to
very
be
cool.
careful because I keep missing astronomy and astrology.
Oh,
So I'm telling
yes.
people, my son's really into astrology right now, and they're like, "What?"
I love it.
Oh, funny. All right. We're not here to talk about astrology or telescopes.
Nope.
Jamie's squirrel's really easy. We know that
That's
though.
all right. That's all
So,
right.
all right. So, book three is Splendor of the Land. Tell us
Yes.
where we're at in the series because there's book one, book
Okay.
two, and now we're book three. So, take us on a tour.
Sure. Okay, so book one was the beginning,
Hmm.
and they had just crowned Saul king. And in fact, the prologue opens with them
Hmm.
crowning Saul. They cast lots, and then, Saul was hiding with the baggage and everything. So the boys actually get to witness that in the beginning, and then they go run away from home basically to go
Okay.
fight for King Saul,
Yep.
and one of them goes missing. So
Hmm.
then in the second book, we go, I think it's like 5 years later,
Okay.
maybe three.
Hmm.
It's been a while since I've looked at that book,
Right. I know.
but it's been a couple years. And so we're kind of thrown into the battles that Saul was dealing with the Philistines. And so now we've gone a couple more years down the road,
Okay.
and the boys have been fighting for King Saul, and so there's a lot of tension with the tribes and
Hmm.
a lot of the Philistines and the nations around that are kind of challenging them, and so we have watched the boys kind of grow up along the way, but also kind of go their own ways.
Okay.
They're all in very different places,
Hmm.
and we've come upon Gavi or Gavriel,
Hmm.
and he has really a mess. He
Hmm.
has been kind of slowly spiraling along the way, and we didn't really know exactly why that was.
Okay.
And so obviously we're going to find out.
Hmm.
And he is in the pearl, or in the first chapter, we find out that he is in some pretty big trouble.
Uh-oh.
And Jonathan, Saul's son Jonathan,
Okay.
is his commander,
Ooh.
and he is not happy with Gabby at all. And so he's going to be reassigned to a different company because he's made a pretty big mistake. So
Okay.
yeah, that's where we're starting. So we've got
Wow.
a really great redemption arc coming,
Okay.
and yeah, I think it's It's one of my favorite books that I've written.
Is it? Is it?
Yeah,
I can tell.
it
You're
really
like
is.
sparkling when you're talking about it. Like you're
Yeah,
like you're
I
really
love it. I
excited. Like
really love Gavin. I think I love like wounded heroes or something. It's
yeah,
to me that's fun to dig into. So
yeah. Well, there's
yeah.
something vulnerable about a male hero that
Mhm.
is wounded because you start
Yeah,
seeing them on a human level, that they're not like this alpha
exactly.
male that comes in and, completely conquers the world. They're
Yes.
they're human.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
And
awesome.
I'm so like writing that redemption arc and seeing where he ended, and the heroine that he's paired up with is just the perfect woman for him, and it just
Hmm.
made me so happy. It's one of those ones where I just felt so satisfied when I was finished writing.
Oh, that's cool. That means readers will
Yeah.
too. Readers will be like,
Yes.
yes, this was perfect. What
Yep.
can you tell us about the girl? Can you tell us anything about her?
Well, Zahava
Hmm.
is of the Kenite tribe.
Okay.
And basically, the only thing we really know about the Kenites is that they were descended from Abraham,
Okay.
but also that they were metal workers. And so
Oh,
Zahava is a goldsmith, but
okay.
she's a secret goldsmith because she's a woman.
Woman. Right.
So she's not able to tell anyone all the things that her father has taught her along the way. So, and she also has a disability, and I won't give away too many
Hmm.
spoilers, but
Hmm.
she has a disability that kind of keeps her in the shadows. And
Okay.
so it's a really kind of a fun dynamic,
Yeah.
and kind of they kind of run into each other.
Okay.
Let's say that.
I like that.
It's kind of a collision.
I was gonna say it sounds like that's almost literal when you're
It,
talking
it
about it.
it is.
Kind
It
of
is kind
literal.
of a literal. It's kind of metaphorical and literal
I love
that
it.
they have a bit of a collision, and so
Okay.
their paths are drastically changed. So
That's
yeah,
cool. Now the Kenite tribe, I mean, that's obviously not one of the 12 tribes of Israel.
no, mm-mm.
So
No,
how
it
does that,
was
are they Hebrew or how does that come out if they're from
no. They weren't
Abraham?
Hebrew. They were descended from Abraham's concubine, I think, Keturah. I think that's
Okay.
how it is.
Okay.
And so it's it was a tribe that was around in that area. They lived in the south mostly,
Okay.
although some of them came up north.
Hmm.
And so at this point in time, they were living with the Amalekites. They had made some sort of treaty.
Oh, okay.
They were living with the Amalekites, and God said a long time ago that they needed to get rid of the Amalekites. They didn't
Right.
do it, so they had kind of entrenched in that area.
Hmm.
And so Saul is told, you need to go deal with the Amalekites and get rid of them. Well, the Kenites had been friends, they had been kind to the Hebrews when they came out of Egypt.
Okay.
And so, out of gratitude for that, God said they can leave so that they're not in the middle
Oh,
of you
okay.
going after the Amalekites.
Okay.
So Gavi is going to be part of the contingents that is helping lead them away from the Amalekites.
Wow. See, that's an interesting piece of history because as you were talking, I was like, well, if Saul was supposed to get rid of the Amalekites, then that mean the Kenites were included, but that from
Right?
biblical history, they were excluded per God, right?
Exactly. They
Okay.
were given the choice to pack up and leave so that they wouldn't endure the same judgment
Yeah.
that the
Yeah.
Amalekites did.
Right. And
But
with
of
the
course, as we know from the Bible, Saul didn't quite obey all the
yeah.
commandments that of the
Yeah.
Lord, so things got a little messy.
I was gonna say Saul had some of his own issues going on.
Oh, increasingly. Yes. That was one of the things that I wanted to delve into in
Okay.
this whole series was what was it like for the people of Israel to
Mm,
see Saul, and like they were so excited when Saul was crowned king. They
yeah.
were it said they were all so thrilled. They've been begging God to give them begging Samuel to give them a king.
Right.
They finally get this, and he's the tallest, most handsome guy
Of
that they
course.
could possibly find. And
Mm-hmm.
so they were all excited in the beginning. So I have my heroes are super excited about this.
Okay.
But increasingly, as we see Saul kind of break down and start to go his own way and eventually, kind of slide into madness,
Mm-hmm.
we're seeing what from the perspective of what the Hebrews saw, and
Mm,
how they would have reacted to
yeah.
kind of his impulsive behavior and things that they were witnessing. So
Yeah. I
that's
like
been interesting to dive into.
I like that perspective because I've read books where it's coming from like literally King Saul's wives' perspective, or
Right.
fictional takes on what it was like to actually be in the palace at the time as
Hmm.
children or something. But it's different when you're like the person on the ground, like the everyday Hebrew
Right.
that's
One
living
of the
underneath this.
soldiers.
Yeah, the
Yep.
soldiers. Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. Well, and then that's got to be an interesting dichotomy. So if some of these guys that you're writing about are soldiers, do you any
Hmm.
of them, like, not to get political, but do they have a problem with their leader and they're
They
in?
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think that Zevi from the second book is
Okay.
the most kind of he's pretty solidly with Saul,
Okay.
especially in the beginning, but he kind of begins to see things from a different perspective over the course of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Gabby, I think, is more so wrapped up in his own kind of mess that
Yeah.
he really is much more loyal to Jonathan. It's
Okay.
kind of like that is who he
Okay.
thinks Jonathan would be a way better king than
Mm-hmm.
Saul would be.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's kind of got a different slant to it.
Yeah.
So each of them kind of come from a different
That's
perspective, but
interesting. I like
of
that.
course we will see that they all will see that they need to bow to the one true king instead
Right.
of
Right.
the human king along the
Which
way.
really is the ultimate underlying theme of the whole
Yeah,
story of King Saul. God's like, well, I was your
exactly.
king. I was intended to
Yeah.
be your king, but if you don't like me,
Yeah.
here you go.
Yeah, here you go. And then like Samuel said, "Hey, okay, well this is going to happen. This is going to happen. He's going
Uh-huh.
to take your sons and daughters. He's going to make them perfumers. He's going to make them soldiers. He's going to do all these things. He's going to tax you. Are you sure about that?" And they were like, "Yeah, give it to us. We don't care." And so that's kind of fun to dig into, you
Yeah.
know, all of these things happening and
Mm-hmm.
what it was going to be like once, we're by the end of this series, we'll probably be, I think, about 20 years into his reign.
Okay.
And I think that politically things opinions will have changed quite
Yeah. The
drastically.
political climate changes with
Yeah.
Saul's evolution. And then you have
Yes.
David in there as probably a side influence at this point, kind of
Not
maybe in
yet,
the shadows. Okay. I was
but
going to say, like, this might
he
be
might be
early.
coming at some point, but
Okay. All right.
I'm a spoiler-free zone.
Yeah, spoiler freeze, absolutely. But we do get to see some of Jonathan in this third book.
Yes, Jonathan is in the very first chapter, and I
Okay.
I love that chapter was like one of the easiest chapters I've ever written. It was
Really?
it was really fun. Well, it opens with a bar fight, so
Oh, I didn't even want to ask why that was easy for you to write, Connie.
maybe I had some aggression
She
that
had
day.
some
I don't
aggression. She's like,
know.
I got to get this out. We're going to a bar fight, and I'm putting Jonathan in the middle of it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
When I was little, this is totally weird. It tells you how weird I am. I would, how your friends always put posters up in their rooms of like
Mhm.
movie actors and stuff.
Yeah.
I would have crushes on people that were long, long dead. And
Oh,
so, like, Bing Crosby, I had a massive
yeah.
crush on Bing Crosby. I had a
That's
massive crush
cute.
on Jonathan.
Really?
Yes. I was like, everybody
Wow.
was always David, David, David. I'm like, but Jonathan.
Oh, that's funny.
I was like,
You
y'all are
needed a
totally
Jonathan
missing.
poster on your
I
wall, huh?
did. I did. So I got kind of excited there. I got like that old time, like 10-year-old goosebumps, like,
I'm pretty sure I
Jonathan.
had Patrick Swayze, so not Jonathan.
Not Jonathan. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, you send me a Jonathan poster, I'll send you a Patrick Swayze one, and
Awesome.
we'll
It's a
be
deal.
even. Oh, that's too fun. So when you bring biblical characters like Jonathan into your stories, are they more of a cameo, or is he a central
Yeah.
figure, or how do you handle that?
He's pretty much a cameo. I very rarely will do anything that's too in depth
Hmm.
with biblical characters. I just have more fun with the fictional characters.
You don't have to worry about being quite so factual.
Exactly, exactly. So,
Yeah.
no, he just makes a cameo a couple of times in this book. So,
Okay.
but
All
it's
right.
a fun one.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, you mentioned the heroine is a medalist. What were the primary metals at this point in time? Were we into iron yet, or?
Yeah, this was actually the early Iron Age,
Okay.
and so there was iron. before I started this, I was like, oh, they hadn't invented iron yet. Well, they did. They had iron. It just wasn't widespread, you know?
Okay.
And the Philistines actually had a real stranglehold on the on iron ore because
Oh,
they had all the ports on the coast of Israel. They
okay.
controlled it.
Mm-hmm.
So you could get certain metals,
Mm-hmm.
but you couldn't get tin from across the sea.
Oh,
So those coastal ports were super, super important. It's what they were kind of fighting over a lot.
sure, sure.
And so the Philistines were able to get imports from other countries. So they had learned how to make iron into wrought iron. So it's not
Yep.
poured into a mold, but
Right.
actually, pounded.
Yep.
And so they had learned how to do that probably from the Hittites, because the Hittites kind of knew that first,
Okay.
or maybe somewhere else that we don't know.
Right.
And so they knew how to make really strong iron,
Okay.
and they had a stranglehold on the metal trade in general.
Okay.
And so the Israelites didn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
And so they used bronze swords and things. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
have anywhere near as much. And so this book kind of deals with some of that,
Okay.
because it actually talks about in the Bible
Yeah.
how the Hebrews didn't have iron swords like the Philistines did, and if their tools broke, they had to go to the Philistines and ask them to fix them because they didn't have the right equipment to fix their iron tools. So they actually had to go to their enemies in order to get their tools fixed. So I thought that was interesting.
That's really weird.
Yeah. So it
Yeah.
was kind of fun to dig
Yeah.
into learning about metals and
Right.
and
Right.
how they made them and
How they
why
made
it
them.
was, why the
Mm-hmm.
Philistines were able to kind of control that whole
Yeah.
trade.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting too, because when you think about, when I think about like, oh, Israel going up against the Philistines, etc., I picture Israel in chariots with iron things, because iron for us is
Right.
just almost like this carryover from the medieval days, or the,
Exactly.
Roman era or something, where we picture just metal and iron,
Yeah.
and it probably looked really different.
Oh, yeah, and even the Bible says that they would go to war, and like Saul and Jonathan were some of the only ones that had swords. And
Oh,
I'm like,
really? I didn't
wait,
catch
wait a
that.
minute. Yeah, so I think what that means, I think it's kind of what is that, like a literary exaggeration.
Sure.
Like, I'm sure they had swords, but they weren't the iron swords that were strong and able to,
Yeah. Yeah.
not break in the middle of war.
That really says a
So,
lot, though, when you think about, because you think about the Israelites going up against the Philistines, and they're already, in a sense, the underdogs.
mhm.
Um, but
Yeah,
you
they were
don't know.
like farmers and
Yeah.
shepherds, and yeah.
Yeah. So they're not necessarily military prowess, but they
No.
also didn't have the benefit of, like what you're saying, the equipment. So, yeah, I guess
Yeah,
that brings the slingshot with David into more, it
exactly.
probably isn't
Yep.
as weird of a weapon as
Oh no, it was a very
it
common
was very
weapon,
common.
and they were well known for being able to those slingshots. We look at it like, oh, he just did a stone
Hmm.
and it just flies a little. No, those things were like bullets. They could
Okay.
pierce armor. And I was it's you should go online and look at some video of people using those, the
I
actual
will.
real ones, and they sound like a gunshot when they go off. It's crazy.
Really?
They snap them so fast. It's really fascinating. So yeah, it wasn't like a toy like we kind of would think of it,
I know. Yeah.
no, it was a very, very deadly weapon, and the Hebrews were very known for their prowess in it. And
Interesting.
so, yeah.
So we had
And the
slingshots and
Benjamites, especially, were known for being left-handed with the slingshot. Apparently, the whole tribe was and I use that in this book.
interesting.
Gavi's left-handed, and so because he's a Benjamite,
Okay.
and so yeah, that was I guess a genetic thing, or I don't know, but they were able to use both hands,
They're like
I'm sure.
ambidextrous then.
Ambidextrous,
Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
That's actually in the Bible that they were
That's
left-handed.
that's so cool. Yeah, the only left-handed reference I can think of off the top of my head was, I think it was Ehud. Ehud the
Yeah, but he
judge.
was a Benjamite.
Oh, was he? I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at all these fun tidbits. I
Yeah.
love it. I did not realize the Benjamites had
Yeah.
the
It's pretty
left-handed
cool.
genetic.
And I'm
That is really
left-handed,
cool.
so
You're a Benjamite at heart.
So I need to learn how to use a sling, right?
Yeah, there you go. And then put those videos on YouTube because we all
Yeah.
want to see we
Yeah.
all want to see this,
Yes.
Connie.
That'd be fun to do.
It
I
really
don't know
would.
where I would learn how to actually do it, but yeah.
There's got to be somebody around that could teach you.
You got to have so much power though to get it
I
going. And
bet.
they go like this, like they don't,
Oh,
we
it's
always see
not.
them going
Yeah,
like this.
right. It's not
Mm-mm.
lasso.
It's like this kind of
Oh,
emotion, and then they let it go, and it's just it cracks like a bullet.
I would be scared to do it for fear I end up like beaning myself. Like I'd be like, ooh, and then boom, the rock. Well, yeah, we slayed
Yeah.
one Goliath, but it was me.
I actually have a scene in one of my books. I think it's like Flames in the Night, where the hero is teaching her how to
Oh, really?
do this thing, and that was fun to
That's
write.
pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So, are there any other fun little tidbits like that we're going to find in book 3, Splendor of the Land?
Well, going back to the metal thing,
Mm-hmm.
Zahava is very skilled with precious metals like gold
Okay.
and silver,
Yep.
but she is especially able to make red gold, which we would call rose gold.
Okay.
And so, and I learned about the reason why rose gold is so difficult to make, and it's because the different melting points of the different
Okay.
metals and the
Mm-hmm.
things that need to go into it, and they all have to be at different points. And so if you don't do it exactly right, have the right temperature and the right time, it'll get brittle.
Oh, okay.
And so Zahava knows the secret of making the red gold so that it's
Mm.
not only beautiful but also strong. And so I did some digging, and there's really not, they haven't really found any red gold that I could find.
Okay.
Really, they didn't start using red gold until I think it was like the 20s or 30s or something, where they kind of figured out with
Sure.
technology that they
Right.
had how to
Right.
do it exactly right. So she kind of has this hidden secret knowledge that
I like that.
disappeared in history. So
Good for her. Good for
yeah,
her. I
and
like that.
it becomes kind of a central part of the plot at some point.
All right. So that's going to be important for us to pay attention to when we come across it on the page then.
It is.
All right. All right. So I'd ask you how the story ends, but that's an unfair question.
Hmm.
Zip go the lips. Okay.
Yeah,
So I do know with your books, and so correct me if I'm wrong, you can read them separately, but they work better if you read them in a row.
absolutely. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a full encapsulated story, love story,
Hmm.
redemption arc, everything. You could start that book and figure out pretty quickly who Gabby is and who
Okay.
Zawa is, but it's definitely, they're intertwined, and there's a lot of stuff you might miss.
Yeah.
They're just much more satisfying if you read them in order. And also with I wrote these little companion novellas that go with each book, or
Hmm.
are coming out before each book. So there's 2 out already that are up on
Okay.
Kindle, and they're on Kindle Unlimited too.
Oh,
If
perfect.
got that, it's free.
Yep.
But then also I just wrote another one for the next release. So
Okay.
anybody who pre-orders that can go to my website, and you
Okay.
can download that right now for free and read
Oh,
it.
nice.
And so those stories take place when the King's Men were boys. And so it's like
Oh,
you get to know the heroes way long before they're heroes, and they
okay.
have some adventures, and they're just so much fun. So those add another level of
Yeah,
connection between all of the books, so that you can really know
that's
the
really
heroes
cool.
of my
That's
stories.
really cool. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can really get attached. I love that when you can get so
Yeah.
attached to the characters
Oh,
because you
yeah.
have these branches and layers and the depth of it is just
Yes.
super
It's
fun.
going to be hard to write the end on this series,
I
because I've
bet.
been in this world since 2020 was when I started
Oh,
planning
wow.
this,
Yeah.
planning these books out
Yeah.
at my retreat with my girlfriends. And
Uh-huh.
so while we all had COVID,
I was gonna say, wasn't that the COVID year?
we all got COVID, we were all in complete denial that we
Oh,
had it,
you
but
mean literally you all had
we
COVID.
literally all had
I shouldn't
COVID.
laugh.
We were like, each one of us felt every day, one of us got sick, and we
Oh,
were like, oh no, we're fine. It's just allergies.
it's just
We're
allergy.
fine. And Tammy Gray kept saying, why does the food taste so bad in Idaho? It's so bland.
It's called COVID,
COVID.
Tammy.
Yeah.
That was, not to get off on the
Crazy.
COVID kick, but that was my first cue that I had it.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
was feeling tired and stuff, but we'd been on vacation, so I'm like, whatever. and we stopped to get a hamburger, and it tasted like
Taste it.
water.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's
Yep.
no flavor. And my husband Nate goes, uh-oh. And I'm like, what? And he goes, COVID. I'm like,
Yeah.
no. Yeah, it was.
There it was.
There
Yeah.
it was.
So anyhow, we
Okay.
plotted that while we had COVID, and so I've been in that world
You
since
okay.
2020, and just, so it's going to be hard to put it in the
Yeah.
past, and
Yeah.
although I do have some fun things coming up.
I was going to say, this isn't going to be the end of Connilyn Cossette books.
Oh no.
Oh,
I've got more coming. I can't talk about it yet, but I've got some things in the works.
yay. Yay.
Yeah.
So if people want to stay in contact, because you have a great backlist of books too, so it's not like there's only 3 to your name. You've got quite a few
No.
more.
Yeah, I don't know. I keep losing count.
Yeah, I know. I get that way too. But yeah, I would say you've got to be around 15.
I think it's actually like 18, maybe
18.
19
Okay.
with
Okay.
the companion novel, because I
That's
have
right.
3 with the with guidepost fiction as well. So
Okay.
and then I've got the novellas out as well.
Okay.
So
So those
I
were
don't
the
know.
ones I weren't counting. I
Yeah,
weren't counting.
you
We're gonna
weren't
go.
counting.
I
Yeah.
weren't counting. It's Wisconsin slang.
There you go.
There we go. We'll go with that. But awesome. So if people do want to find out all about your books, though, what's the best way for them to get in
Sure. I
contact?
think the best way is to go to my website, which is
Mm-hmm.
connilyncossette.com, and you can sign up for my newsletter there.
Okay.
I'm not the most consistent with newsletters, but I try to give you as much information as I can.
Yeah.
And so I'll announce giveaways and things like that and upcoming news.
Awesome.
And then the other way that you can get in closer contact with me is through, I have a Facebook group called Connie Lynn's Bibliophiles. So you can
Mm-hmm.
just do a search for that, Connie Lynn's Bibliophiles. And so you can chat with other people and learn some of the background stuff. Sometimes I do some kind of historical background,
Mm-hmm.
put that up there, and you get kind of a more personal glimpse into my
Yeah.
life and my writing and all that.
That's super cool. I do. I've been in that group, and it's fun because every now and then you put up a post too about a new archaeological find or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
that
that's
actually
fun.
pertains to one of the books that you're writing. But it's like, whoa, I didn't know that. That's so
Yes.
cool. So
I only get to be the first to like see my book covers and things like
yes,
that. So that's always fun.
yes, absolutely, awesome. Well, Connie, thank you so much for being here today. The book is called Splendor of the Land. It's book 3 of the King's Men series.
Mhm. Comes out
Public
August 5th.
August 5th. So it's coming out
Yep.
fast. So we're
Yeah,
not
really
too far
fast.
away. So awesome sauce.
Hmm.
So, well, this will be fun. And then we get to wait for next year for book 4.
Yep, next year. Book
All
4.
right.
I think
Sounds good.
it's August 19th of next year.
All right. And does that one have a title we can share?
I haven't shared it yet.
Okay. Then we won't ask.
I
That's in
have
the.
a rule that I don't share my title until I turn my manuscript in. So
Oh, okay.
that's my own personal
That's
rule.
fair.
So
That's fair.
yeah.
I like that. I like that.
So you all can cheer me on
Well,
because I need to get it done.
yeah. Hurry up because we want to know the
Hurry up
title.
so they
We
can
want the
I
title.
know the title.
Oh, that's fun. All right. Well, we'll be patient for the title. In the meantime, we'll just go and order Splendor of the Land because that's what we
That's
get.
good.
It's called immediate satisfaction.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Connie, for being with us today.
Thanks.